I mean, he has 70 vills. He's so far at an eco. Put some vills on the attack dance, and this will be even better. He's not switching. He's on XP. The cab is going down. It's getting melted by the buildings here. The longbows are still standing and doing damage.
Does he have enough steam though?
There's not enough running out though. Yeah.
Hitting Bowman, 1.5 fire rate once again, coming up, Truck being king here, and just even though
drag boxing the Naginatas forward, the Coyotes are trying to move, and the Atoman, he drag boxed the wrong direction, and now the Atomans are getting snared by
oh my goodness. Are shredding this right now, and it doesn't look like he's got his
11s.
I don't see any of the pikes. Where's the pikes on this fight? The Nagis are just cleaning this entire map up. Coyotes are falling. You got the Ashes getting buffed for the Dino. They've got Ashy attacking. They're absolutely shredding everything here. Yumi don't even need to micro this at this point.
He's going to have to sack off his Ruskies. He has to come in melee here.
Yes.
I don't think he can continue keep microing. Well, he's going to try, wait for reinforcements and try to make it to his blockhouses. The question is, how much damage will he going to be taking? This is nice micro from Ungus, but you know, the Atontons just have to attack move here. And 1.5 fire rate, they do have staff animation. And the Tontons are absolutely insane. But he has drawn him into the double blockhouse. Now fighting under the double blockhouse. The question is it going to be
Muskets are a little behind here. The Cossacks are now getting snared by the Pumas and the Coyotes. The Explorer is now in with the triple XP tech. Some warriors are mixing. The Atotan's doing absolutely insane amount of damage. He's on plus 36%. Look at him on the attack. That's a plus 36%. And he's just
Coyotes on the Strelitz.
Blockhouses are actually doing decent damage here. The Coyotes are kind of going down. The Spears are now trying to move in towards the front, and it's actually a decent fight, I think, for Tabin.
Pretty good fight for Tabin, but you know, there's not very many Cossacks. He's letting a lot of these Coyotes and Pumas kind of shred his Strelitz a bit. Finally getting his Cossacks where they want to be on the Slingers, and gonna be cleaning up.
Here, the Esacs are out of position. The Carolinians as well, and the Esacs are gonna go up top. Oh, the tree carrying here. The tree is for Sweden, and there you go. We can see some damage here. The Esacs, all the Esacs are dead. That's quite a lot of mass. The Esacs coming back from fair rate. Nah, GG. Optimus, his mass is getting completely clean. With the Esacs, that's gonna be a big snare right there, and there is no way those Carolinians are gonna come out alive.
Ladies should be able to swing this water fight. It's so, the micro here is so intense. Get in, get back in. Will the Yumi have a chance to snipe him? Look at the ship is at 62 HP.
Oh! Frontline, what a god.
Oh no! Oh my god! Oh my gosh, Michael, it was insane, and that's GG. Wow, those galleys have such low HP.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome all.
It's
What do we
Big
got here
Shake.
today. Big Baron. What do we got here today, Baron? Are you excited?
Yeah, this is probably the series of the week in terms of the average skill level, if I do say so myself. We got Keturboy playing for your team. Which one is this again? It's the Bigs, right? The Bigs. And we got
Not the Bigs.
Frontline playing for SKG. Am I right?
Yep, Somali Kabuli Gaming.
All right.
So, what are we thinking here, Baron? Two very good players, very high skill, as you said before. I think Keturboy, one of the best players in the game right now. So yeah, I'm excited for that one. How do you rate Frontline's chances today?
So I think the last time they faced off against each other in a head-to-head was in the finals of the H2 tournament ESOC hosted a while back, and Frontline was able to take the W. I believe it was 5-4. It's like very, very close down to the wire. However, I don't know, as you said, the Keturboy now is like solidly one of the best players in the game. Probably top 3, definitely top 5. And I think Frontline is maybe just a little bit off of that. Like, he has the capability on a good day to take games off the best players, but we've seen that maybe right now he's not quite at the top 5 or best 5 of active players currently. So I think
Yeah.
Keturboy is the favorite. He's improved so much over the past few months. Really been like learning DE, making his build orders very, very solid. So would you agree with this kind of analysis?
I would agree even more by saying that he is definitely top 3. He's a bona fide third best player in the game right now. I think the only 2 players that are slightly better than him at the moment are Haza and Julian K. But the thing is that he's like kind of the only player in the game that can rival them. I know you guys don't like when I say his name, but it's true. Breeze Revenak is number 4 behind him, I think, due to him not playing a lot of tournaments as of recent. He probably fell out of that, but he's still top 4. But at the level that Keturboy, Haza, and Julian are playing at the moment, I don't think anyone is playing at that level, and Keturboy definitely deserves to be up there. So happy to have him on my team. Let's say it like that.
Yeah, and I remember he only went for like 2,950 coins or something. So that is probably the steal of the season in terms of value of a very, very high skilled, as you said, top 3 player for a very, very, very nice price for your team. So that was definitely a steal. And I think right now your team are pretty solidly in the lead on the overall scoreboards. I think this week, currently, we as in the Mandarin Duck squad are ahead of CMC, managed by Kaiser Klein, 8-7 after the first 3 series. And what is the scoreline? Do you know for you guys?
For us, Opti won 4-1. I won today as well, 3-2. So that's 7-3. And then Tabin won 4-1 for CMC. SKG, sorry. So that's 8-7 for us right now.
Okay, so it's the same scoreline. It's very, very close. And this could be a decider.
Our Bernal saying, Shake, how does it feel to be worth less than Hawk? Well, sadly for you, Hawk lost his series last week and I won mine. So I think I proved I'm worth a little bit more than 0.97 Hawks.
Yeah, that should be the real value of a player nowadays. It's in a multiplier on
Duck
Hawks.
coins.
You're what,
Exactly.
0.97 Hawks? Somebody's like
I'm
Keturboy's-
0.97 Hawks, yes.
Keturboy's what?
Caterboy's like
4.5?
2.5 Hawks.
2.5, okay.
2.5 Hawks. Yeah, not all too many Hawks. Just 2.5 around about.
2.5. Yeah. You think he can take him in a 2v1? You copy 2 Hawks, put them together.
I don't know. If you multiplies Hawk's skill by 2.5, he would probably still lose to Keturboy.
Oh wow. Yeah. So let's see what the we've been chatting so much. Let's take a look at the Civ picks if they're out yet. We have game 1. Okay, Keturboy choosing Otto versus Frontline choosing France. So let me put that up on the overlay for you all. What do you think about this matchup?
I think it's a France favorite matchup. I think it's very good for France. It's Otto at the end of the day. It can't always be that good, but France usually 55-45 against Otto, I would say. It's a civ that deals quite well with Otto. It's very susceptible still to, what we saw last time from Keturboy that he did against Haza, which was just pure Jan into Mams and trying to snare the big mass and just right-clicking. But generally, I would say that France deals with Otto quite well. So maybe I'll retract that and say it's an actual 50-50 statement, 50-50 matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this map tends to favor Ottoman, right? They have some pretty decent treasures in the middle of the map. They can be kind of aggressive, maybe take TP line. Although, I don't know, it's probably pretty even as well because France has that native scouts where they can take, where they can scout out a lot of the good treasures in H1 and be able to take those aggressively. But yeah, I think so far in the series we've seen, Ottoman is a common pick on this map. Another common pick was Spain. I think we saw Spain versus France in the first game of your series earlier today against Dennis, right? And France was able to take the edge in that one. But yeah, I'm very curious to see how this one plays out.
He did. He played that game very, very well, and he managed to take the W there. So let's see if France continues. It's so far flawless slate.
Ooh, thank you, A's, for the raid. quack Mandarin Duck Squad. Let's go. 119 viewers.
Big A's raid.
Yeah.
Big,
I gotta say,
big A's raid.
A's did a really great job earlier today, taking his series 4-1, I believe, against Maito, who's like one of the all-time greats of this game, right? Very impressive.
All right, are the players ready? Can we jump into it, or what's?
I believe they
let's see.
started, but I'm looking for the game right now, and I don't see it yet. I do believe we are doing a 2 or 3 minute delay, so there will be.
I think it should be on ESOC Lobby A or Frontline or Thingy's game.
Yeah.
And can you just
Yeah, let me
please stream
stream for
from
you
you
in
on Discord? Thank you.
So what do you think France's game plan should be in this game? I guess Auto most likely will FF. Maybe like, do you think they'll do any kind of H2 play?
The thing is that you can always just make Cav against Otto, unless Otto just decides to Jan rush you. But I find it hard to believe that Otto is ever going to Jan rush France, right? That is
Yeah.
just not very good to do against CDBs. So probably Otto starts with a Delhi semi, or France can just go into Hus and try and idle Otto as much as possible. You also have the option of going naked FF, but I like that less for France. I like them to have a little bit more oomph behind their age up. So, a 5 Hus semi is definitely okay.
Yeah. I have recently seen, I think a while back, I saw Hazza doing this with Auto, where you do a 5 Delhi semi, and actually 5 Delhi tends to slightly edge out 5 Hussars if you do just 5 versus 5. And actually, I saw Hazza absolutely crush, I think it was Phoenix's France, where they both went for a Hussar semi. And so maybe that is an option. I'm not sure if it's the best option for Auto on this map, but I mean, Auto is a civ, I think that's very dynamic and has lots of lots of options in H2 and into H3. But we do have the game, so let's head right in there.
Let's go. Let's get it.
All right, Sheikh, why don't you do the introductions?
All right. So let's get right into it. Let me find your stream really quickly. All right, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Best of 7 series hosted by ESOC for the ESOC Premier League. Today, we have for you on the west side of the map in the color blue, which kind of hurts my eyes that he is in the color blue. We have Keturboy playing as the Ottoman, and on the east side, his opponent, what has to be probably the best player out of North America nowadays, Frontline, playing as the French in the color red. So, what are we thinking about this matchup, Baron?
Sorry, I guess Frontline is playing Auto, Keturboy is playing French, right?
Yes.
Yes. But I did notice that this map has kind of 2 potential spawns, one of which the TP line is a bit more exposed, right? So there is an option for the TCs to kind of spawn north and south, in which case you kind of have a TC right next to your TP line. However, in this case, we see that it was an east-west spawn for the TCs, and so the TP line is not super safe, right? It's kind of exposed here, pretty far away from both of the starting TCs.
Yeah, the map spawn was is kind of similar to the map spawn that I had today with Dennis. It's kind of really awkward. Normally you spawn a little bit more north-south-ish, but yeah, this time they're directly diagonally from each other, west and east, very even, but it's a worse spawn in my opinion, because if you can see, the walking distance to the TP from the Ottoman TC and from the French TC is actually quite far, and you almost always miss the first pass. So that's, a little bit of a concern for Otto in that regard, I would say. But for the rest, we are seeing capitalism start from Otto. Oh, very nice food treasure coming in for France, but I don't think it will affect his age up. If you can see, Ottoman is going to be aging up right now. 13, 10, 20. Actually, it is going to affect his age up, and very nicely. He is going to go for the 13, 20, which, in my opinion, is the optimal age up option for France on a non-livestock map. 70 XP treasure being worked on right now for for Keturboy, excuse me, not being spotted by Frontline. Very, very smart by Ketur to go for it. Smart, I should say, lucky that the Frontline can't see it. But regardless, he's going to be getting that 70 XP. That's going to help him a lot. Auto really relies on that early tempo. And yeah, Frontline now. Oh, Keturboy deciding to ship 3 villagers. Very interesting. So he's kind of doing his own version of a 12-10 here with capitalism first. He's got the house out now. So I like this a lot, This greedy version of normally you do 3 vills into capitalism. He did the opposite. He was able to age at a very good time. He didn't spend any time chopping any wood, and he got all the XP he needed with the TP, excuse me, and the mosque. And yeah, in transition, he just chopped for a house, and this is looking very, very good for him. If we can look at the Ottoman deck really quickly, he does have a market coming up, and he will have hunting dogs as well. So this is going to be very, very nice timing for Ottoman.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look as well at the French deck with Keturboy. Anything you see here? I do see that he has Jaegers in his deck, which nowadays I see this like more common, I guess, in French decks. The Jaegers are often really a game maker or game breaker in terms of giving you the advantage in any kind of ranged skirmishes. He also has Pioneers here, another great card, and Wilderness Warfare. So there is a potential, I think, for some extremely beefed up CDBs. Although I don't expect him to be going for these cards anytime in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, opening with the barracks is I don't know. Is that static sound coming from you or from me?
Let me just check. I can restream on Discord if that's an issue.
Oh, yeah, it is coming from your stream. I'm sorry for that, Baron.
Yeah, let me do that.
So, anyways, thank you very much, Baron. Seeing an in-base barracks for France. So we are going to decide on a Musk semi here. I don't really know how I feel about it. He probably wants to take down the TP. Judging on the positioning of the TP, that's not even a bad decision. It's actually quite okay because you're completely out of the range of the TC. But saying that, there is a barracks coming in for Keter as well. And if we're going to switch over to his perspective, he's also queuing a couple of Janissaries. So he's opened up with a 5 villager shipment. And now he's probably going to follow up with the coin shipment and go into age up because he wants to just, keep his TP up. And I like it. I like it. Even if Frontline doesn't make any units, he will get France's TP for free. But he will be able to scout the 5 Musketeers right now, and Jans, they just go forward whenever they see European Musketeer standard. They're not scared of them. 5 Jans will absolutely maul 5 regular Musketeers, and there we go. We're even gonna have a 10 Jan semi. Okay, for Keturboy, probably stuck on 4 there, which is a bit sad that he missed the batch, but he was popped, so not much he can do about it. And yeah, he's going to age up behind this, and France as well, shipping the 700 wood first, and now going for the 700 coin. Gonna have 10 Musketeers of his own, and both of them are kind of going to be in a stalemate here. But just playing it safe, not wanting to lose any momentum, losing a TP. Very nice micro. Did you see that by Keturboy there? Making sure that he got that low HP Musketeer with his Explorer. And he managed to calculate that 9 Jans plus an Explorer shots actually kills a Musketeer. So the 9 Jans alone won't be enough. A very, very big brain play here by Frontline. By Keturboy, excuse me.
Yeah, but Shake, sorry to interrupt, but actually Frontline is Auto and Keturboy is France. So that was some good micro from Frontline there.
Oh my god, I am so stupid.
Yeah, no worries. But
oh my god.
Impressive.
Chat, excuse me, chat. I am so bad at this game. I apologize a million times over and over. And yeah, so far Frontline playing this very, very well. Very nice build by him. And yeah, Keturboy has a couple more Musketeers now as France. trying to go forward, trying to see what damage he can do because he's still a little far away from the age up. Yes, Coin has hit the floor, but Ottoman at the other end is going to be aging up. Very nice use of the scout there, if you can see, just in the line of sight of that barracks, seeing what's coming up for Ottoman. And yeah, we are going to see that the crossbows are coming. Is that an 8 crossbow shipment, or did he make a couple of crossbows? No, he made a couple of crossbows just to be able to zone off these Janissaries. Janissaries now, Ottoman, excuse me, now in H3, and that means that Keturboy has to back off because whether it is the delis or a fast age up into a shipment or Abus, he just cannot take a fight anymore with Ottoman. So he is kind of backing off, kind of still zoning off the Jans. Probably just testing the APM of Frontline right now, but Frontline being very disciplined, very smart, just staying back, not really taking any fights before his shipment arrives or before Veterancy arrives. And yeah, there we go. Supporting batch of 5 Janissaries coming in right now. 1,000 wood first shipment. What do you think about that, Baron? He looks like he wants to go greedy.
Yeah, I think Frontline oftentimes when he plays Ottoman is a very, very greedy player, opting to go for the 1k wood, dropping TCs. And I think Frontline, one of his main advantages is his ability to multitask with multiple groups of Janissaries to buy himself time until Ottoman gets to that point where they just have better units and still a solid economy. I've seen him do this like very often on the ladder against some very good players. So I think that's what this game is kind of shaping up to be. On the other hand, Keturboy himself aging up as well, shipping 2 Falconets, so he is going for a much more aggressive approach with the French Musketeer Falconets composition.
Yeah. Sorry about that. There we go. So this game so far looking pretty tense, looking pretty close. Both players being very vigilant with their units, not wasting all too much. I've barely seen any units die on either end, so that's very nice for both of them. Now, were those 2 Falconets from France coming in? I think it was, right?
Yes.
Yes, 2 Falconets coming in from France for Keturboy, and 2 Falconets follow up as well from Frontline. Behind that, and now Dragoons and Skirmishers being teched into and made and shipped. And on the other end, Frontline is building a TC on the north side, trying to be as greedy as possible. But yeah, it looks better for Ottoman at the moment, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, Frontline has a pretty solid shipment curve right now. He's able to get a second shipment out already, shipping 2 Falconets. And now basically what he's done is he's gotten away with a little bit of greed, right? With that second TC. But his mass is still looking relatively scary. I mean, these are veteran Janissaries with 258 HP compared to a lot of H2 Musketeers that are still in this French composition. A little bit of an Explorer skirmish on top. That's no need to worry about that. But Frontline now is actually pushing a little bit himself. I hope this isn't an overcommit because France does have quite a few units on the field right now with 8 Dragoons, a solid skirmisher count, and 2 Falconets of its own. So with good positioning, this could be a very good fight. But I expect, yeah, he's going to take the TP and just try to back off. Let's just, before anything else, let's take a quick look at the economies. So Ottoman here have 27 villagers on 2 TCs. His Moss techs are looking pretty good. He has the first villager speed upgrade in the mosque. And he has steel traps, right? So the Ottoman economy is pretty solid. He also still has that TP compared to Keturboy, whose TP was just siege down. And let's take a look at Keturboy as well. 28 villagers. These are CDB, so they have that natural 20% bonus against normal villagers. He, of course, as France, I expect him to also have steel traps and placer mines. But as I said, no TP. However, he has a church, so the shipment curve will still be pretty good. Getting in 8 skirmishers now, he wants that ranged advantage. And I guess for France, their hope is just to, in the next fight, trade off the Falconets and rely on the compositional advantage of Skirm Goon versus what is mostly just Musketeers right now from Frontline.
Yep. Another thing you can use as an indicator really for how the game is going is the overall pop. So as you can see, France right now on 109, gonna be on 113 now, and Otto is on 95. So that means that France just has more stuff out on the field. I know that Dragoons are 2 pop, but if you compare it, but saying that, Mamelukes are out on the floor right now, and Keturboy kind of has nothing to defend themselves against Mamelukes, and I don't know why Frontline is not going in. Like, you pack these Falcons and you march straight, go ahead, because 4 Mamelukes are never ever going to die to what is this 10 Dragoons that Keturboy has out on the field right now. Okay, a little bit more than 10 Dragoons. Keturboy has, see, he has 15 Dragoons out right now. That is not enough. Like, these Dragoons are going to have to one shot. Like, they're gonna have to 3-shot a mam, if I'm not mistaken, to kill one. Yeah, there we go. So 2-shot isn't even gonna be enough to kill it from 15 of them. So if there was a possibility for a connect here for Frontline, I think he could have been absolutely fine and cleaned that fight. But now that Keturboy knows that the mams are out, he's going to be much more wary. So far, 32 vills out for him right now on the map. With 127 pop. If you compare that to Ottoman, yes, Ottoman is on 2 TCs, but their vills train slow, 33 villagers. He is still quite significantly behind on Eco. Very nice spy positioning there, by the way, from Frontline.
Yeah, the spy meta, I'm pretty impressed by. I mean, even in these ranged skirmisher wars, right, these spies give you the extra line of sight and oftentimes allow you to get those nice lock-ons. And in addition, these spies also just are so helpful in scouting out the opponent's composition, what they're making, where their matches are coming from. I am a little bit concerned about Keturboy's game plan here because he has not scouted Frontline's second TC. So I think under his impression, or Keturboy's impression, he is outscaling Otto. But in fact, I think Otto is keeping up quite nicely in terms of scaling. Yes, as you mentioned, France currently has the economic advantage and even the mass advantage, I'd say, right? With 141 pop compared to Otto's 130 pop. But once Otto gets a nice mass of these veteran Abyss guns, gets their maybe their Janna upgrade cards and heals up their Mamelukes, this is a very scary army from Ottoman.
It is really scary, and all these Abyss coming in are gonna be a game changer, definitely, because they kind of counter everything in the French composition right there. And this is a thing that I was sad last time Haza and Keturboy played against each other. The game was on, what map was it again? Saguenay, and I was so sad that Keturboy didn't tech into Abyss quicker because he had the windows and he just didn't do it. And I knew if he would have done it, he would have probably won that game, but yeah, he wasn't able to do it, and Frontline is not making the same mistake teching into Abyss right now. And I'm surprised that we haven't seen a second TC yet from Keturboy, because I know how he likes putting down that second TC earlier. And ooh, nice foul shot there, taking a lot of HP off a couple of them and taking down a Abyss gun right now. Okay, so the Falcons are going to engage right now. Ooh, very lucky there for Frontline, being able to get away from the line of sight of the Falconets just in the nick of time. I wonder if we have the line of sight upgrade on both of the Falconets. That would be like a really huge win with you. Ooh, Keturboy has shot the Abyss guns, and now he's going to shoot Falconets. Okay, 1 Falc down for each, but Keturboy's Falc is a little bit lower right on HP. Engagement happening with the Musketeers going in melee to protect against the Mams. Very nice micro right now from both players, actually. Wow, I'm very impressed. Look at these Musketeers going into melee. Look at the Abyss and the Chans going forward, not going too far away from each other. And I would say, all in all, this was just a better trade for Frontline, because he still has a Falconet alive. All Mams are alive. Yes, we did lose the majority of our Abyss guns, but we have barely really teched into them, and that Falconet is going to be such a nuisance to try and deal with for Keturboy right now, and he's going to try and dive the Dragoons in to kill the Falcon. Yes, he did manage to get the Falcon, but he has lost 3 Dragoons and more than half the HP on 5 of them. So I don't think that was a good trade for him anymore. What are we thinking, Baron?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was a bit unfortunate that Frontline had lost so many of his Abyss right when he was about to ship the Abyss and artillery combat card. However, this is a very nice remass for Frontline in terms of his Abyss counts, getting out full batches. This is what is scary, I think, about the Ottoman economy at this point. I mean, Ottoman's main weakness is the fact that if they don't put any specific efforts into scaling their economy, they have a much weaker early economic tempo compared to civilizations like France that just naturally scale better with their CDBs. However, if you allow Otto to get to this point, it is scary for sure. But a very nice pickup for the Dragoons on the north side of the map. That TC was 3 seconds away from getting built, and they get sniped by the Dragoons. That is a huge win, I think, for Keturboy. And I think now Frontline is gonna have to do something to either save this TC, which he's unable to do. So that's just minus 500 resource right there. But he does have now a massive Aegis mass
Jaegers
with
as well.
artillery combat.
Yeah, but he has Jaegers on the floor. Jaegers are, you know, a skirmisher unit that doesn't really trade effectively with Abus, but at least they do enough damage as to where they actually kill them, right? And if he manages to micro this well, or Frontline mismicros them, and doesn't really focus the Abus guns, which he isn't doing, the Jaeger, sorry, which he isn't doing right now, he's focusing the regular skirmishers, then we will find ourselves in a situation where Keturboy has the skirmisher advantage as well, and very smartly going forward with the Dragoons. Dragoons aren't really hard countered by Abus. You know, so it's not that bad to put yourself in line of sight and firing range of the Abus guns, because Dragoons will trade quite effectively. Now we are seeing a raid on the south side of the map. Tower going up for Frontline. Okay. Musketeers in melee trying to zone off these Mamelukes from raiding the French villagers, but Keturboy not really paying attention there. But as I'm saying, that TC is going to get built, another TC, but so many villagers are going to get caught trying to build that TC up, so he doesn't really care about those Musketeers that are going to go down there. And yeah, I'm not sure if that TC is actually going to go up, because these Ottoman villagers are building that TC so slowly. And look at how many of them are going down trying to get that. So the economic advantage is going back into Keturboy's advantage, and he just needs to make sure he doesn't get trapped here and doesn't lose a very big fight. Hopefully he has some reinforcements, because Spahi are coming in from that north side TC, and the Mams are closing in from the other side, so he's trying to kind of double whammy him and sandwich him between a hard place and a rock. And these Dragoons are going to have to work absolute overtime if they want to protect these skirmishers, and if Ottoman wants, if Keturboy wants to keep playing in this game, but it's not looking good for him right now. Mams are connecting, CDB are being pulled in to tank as much damage as possible. Spahi and the Mams doing so much damage, a lot of Dragoons going back, but some nice kiting from Keturboy right now. A big batch of Cuirassiers coming in behind, and another big batch of Cuirassiers. Okay, these Cuirassiers might actually turn the tides here. They are forcing these Janissaries into melee, and the big thing that they're doing is they're not allowing the Janissaries to get completely on top of the skirmishers, and so many skirmishers from behind as well. Where did Keturboy get this huge mass from all of a sudden? And he has absolutely claimed Frontline here. Keturboy, you absolute magician, where the hell did you get all of this from?
That was a phenomenal cap switch there. I think he baited Frontline into overcommitting his units there. Frontline thought he was about to sandwich Keturboy, but Keturboy pulled out the Uno reverse, came in with 10... these are cav combated curs. Yeah, 10 cav combated curs from behind, and just absolutely crushed that fight. And I see no way for... I think Otto is just dead here. I think he sacrificed too much to get these TCs up. He actually sacrificed more builds than he would have gotten otherwise. And now there's just no mass for Ottoman. And France, with cav combated curs, an absolutely massive mass of skirmishers and Jaegers here. And I mean, is it too early to call it? I think this is over.
Yeah, it's looking quite over. That cap switch is absolutely phenomenal there.
Yeah, so many villas being forced to migrate as well. I'm sure Keturboy has scouted these dead hunts here, and he knows where to push to really hit. Oh wow, 2 Falconets are out, but so many curs. There's not enough ammo out here, and that is...
No, the Falconets are just so obsolete and obscure at this point in late H3. Look at these cursors just right-clicking everything, and yeah, huge win there for Keturboy. Kind of pulled it out of nowhere. Ottoman looked so far ahead, and the unit composition and the fight just shows you the difference that I was talking about before. Frontline is such a phenomenal player. I hope to one day be as good as Frontline, right? And to watch him just get... I thought he was trapping Keter, but he wasn't. Keter was trapping him by making him believe that he's getting trapped. I was like, Keter, get out of there. But Keter had other ideas, and a huge cav switch, 10 curs and 10 skirms coming in behind really to save the day was just absolutely clutch.
Yeah, look at how badly that fight went for Frontline. He was actually outmassed. I think these are the cur batches, which are like, I mean, that's what 10 curs is 30 pop of units that that popped somewhere in during this fight. But Frontline dropping from 107 pop to 15 pop, while Keturboy only lost about 40 units in comparison. So it's an absolutely phenomenal fight. And if we look at the all resources gathered, France, as the better scaling civ, still ahead quite significantly, honestly, with 3,000 to 4,000 more res. throughout that game. And yeah, overall, very well played by Keturboy. I think just really, really great game decision making and making the right decisions, baiting Frontline in and taking him with a huge cap switch from behind. And let's head back now to the home screen and see what the Civ picks are for game number 2.
Right, let's try and check with the players. So the Civ picks for game 2 are going to be very interesting. It's going to be a DE fest, big boy Baron. It's going to be Ethiopia for Frontline and Italy for Keturboy. Now, seeing as I am a member of the HBB, the Bigs, I have been practicing quite a lot with my teammates. I didn't really have the chance to practice a lot with Keturboy for this specific series, but I know that he has been cooking up some stuff with Italy right here, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it because everyone knows how good Ethiopia is on this map, right? It's a map that's almost tailor-made for Ethiopia with the livestock, no TP, quite big. You have the time to do your FF stuff and all that, but you know, no Italy has been played yet, I think, in the tournament at all, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I can't remember a game where we've had Italy yet. So I think you might be right. I mean, Italy is really known for their fast industrial strategies, which recently got buffed in the last patch. But yeah, as you said, I mean, Ethiopia is such a strong civ. They have like amazing economy because of the 12 available cattle or livestock on the map. And with that, they can often either get a very strong H2 timing or even go H4 themselves, from what I know, and match Italy's FI. I mean, Italy, I think, still has the edge in an FI. They're just probably maybe the strongest or one of the strongest industrial civs in the game. But I mean, Ethiopia is no slouch either. They have amazing like economic tempo. They have good units in H4 and really fantastic shipments as well. So I think this will be a close game either way. I think the one mistake maybe that Ethiopia can make is overcommitting in either H2 or H3 and just getting cleaned by some massive unit pop from Keturboy's Italy. That I think is one way this game can swing heavily in favor of Keturboy.
Yeah. Just a second here. All right, so as we were talking about this matchup, I do have to note something. Ethiopia, right, and I experienced this today as well with the Ethiopia FI. My last game was against Dennis. I don't know if you saw that, Baron, but he did FI on me with Ethiopia, and it's kind of like you have to survive the early timings that Ethiopia has. If you manage to survive, you know, like all the big unit shipments and all that, you're kind of fine because their eco doesn't really scale all that much behind it. Whereas with Italy, it's a civ that kind of feels comfortable and natural in H4. It's not really the huge shipments that are going to overwhelm you with Italy. It's more the fact that if he gets there and he managed to stabilize in there, he is the best H4 civ in the game because he starts massing a skirmisher that no other civ has that can stun with 5.5 speed. He has incredibly strong dragoons that no one plays, by the way. He's got incredibly cheap pike upgrades for melee anti-cav. He's got his church units, his Basilica units and whatnot. Like, Italy stabilizes very well in H4, whereas Ethiopia hits very hard early H4. So it's going to kind of be a story of, is Frontline going to be able to deal enough damage before Keturboy actually has, you know, positioned himself in a place where he wants to be?
Yeah, absolutely agree. I think Italy, just with their architects, can quickly get 3 TCs running. They have a very strong Lombard economy and tempo. And on the other hand, Ethiopia, if they end up eating through their livestock, their economy does not scale quite as well, I think, as Italy into the mid to late game. But the game is up, so let's head right in there.
All right, let's go. So, Baron, you want to do the introductions or shall I?
I'd be happy to. So on the north side of the map, we got Keturboy playing as the Italians. And on the south side of the map, we have Frontline playing as Ethiopia in the color yellow. And this map, very interesting map. You have kind of poor hunts, I would say. You only have kind of 2 hunts in base. The third ones are really, really far out, and you really need some map control if you would like to continue eating hunts. There are a couple berries in the base, but the real, I think, game changer on this map is how much livestock there is. There are 12 yaks spread throughout the map, and the early H1, I expect both players to be running their explorers around trying to get all of these yaks. Obviously, Ethiopia's explorer has a slight advantage with more speed, 5.75 speed, compared to the standard 4.5 speed on a European or Italian explorer. However, we do see that Frontline is kind of, Frontline is kind of missing some of these cows. He ran up to the top right side of the map, but was unable to find these two, or the two in the corner here. On the other hand, Keturboy actually, I mean, maybe with some great prep, he's already finding 2 cows, and he's going to pick up these 2 as well. So this is actually a good start, in my opinion, for Keturboy, who kind of has a disadvantage because of his slower explorer.
Yeah, I would much rather be Keturboy in this situation. Saying that, it looks like this treasure can be about to be stolen. Right here from Ethiopia. But ooh, they both go down, and I think Ketur got it. Ketur did manage to get that 70 wood treasure. Ooh, but 1 cow actually being lost there. That is pretty big, because you know, a cow for Ethiopia is not like a cow for the other civs. A potential 500 resource, thing. Shipment, unit, whatever. It's 500 resources potentially that he's just stealing away from his opponent here. If we're looking at the decks really quickly, let's see what Ethiopia and Italy are going to be cooking up. So 1v1 land aggro. So I know this. I know what Keturboy wants to do here. He wants to play some H2. He wants to be a little bit aggressive and kind of do a semi-FI where he gets a lot of eco, gets more units out, establishes dominance on the map, and from then on he will go to his H4. And if we switch over to Frontline, who's now picked up a couple more yaks, more yaks picked up from Keturboy there. If we can look at that, he just stole a couple of yaks there, and only 3 yaks. Wow, for Frontline with a 5.75 speed explorer. That is very bad news for really want those yaks, and more yaks are gonna get picked up by Keturboy. He's gonna get all the yaks on the map almost. He's gonna end up having 9 yaks right here. Wow, this is absolutely huge for him, but he is going to try and take this treasure. Let's see, does he have enough HP? And is he going to be able to evade the Ethiopian explorer right here? I don't think he's even paying attention. Yeah, okay, these yaks. Oh, he decided to kill them because his explorer is dying. And very nicely, he let the treasure guardian actually kill him. So neither does Frontline get the 4 yaks, which are much more valuable to him than to Italy. But also, he doesn't get the XP from killing that explorer. So, you know, kind of a messed up situation that he got himself in there, but at the end of the day, he managed to salvage it with as little profit for his opponent as possible. As players play EPL, that's why everyone wants to see the pros. It's just these small little things that just make me especially so excited.
Frontline actually sending 2 vills here to eat the cows that Keturboy deleted earlier, which I guess makes sense, but is this really worth it? This is maybe only like 150 food here. I guess if he wants to
No, it's worth it.
Yeah, he wants
It's
to hurt this hunt
definitely worth
anyways. But that was a lot of walking for those 2 vills. So
I mean, it's not that much if you calculate that they're going to gather at more than twice the rate that they gather usually from food, right? It's going to be at least 250, if not 300 food in those cows, because every cow got deleted at around 80 food. So like, if with the K, he's gonna get like what, 280 food out of it. If you calculate it, it's at least 100 to 150 food more gotten with those villagers in his base.
yeah, he's gonna be hurting these anyway, so I guess it's definitely okay. Although, okay, let's take a look. Keturboy is aging up, dropping the tower or the outpost defensively here. And what are we expecting him to ship first? He gets the Basilica wagon. Obviously, Italy has the advantage, or has the Civ bonus of getting a villager every time they research a tech. So the Basilica with the line of sight upgrades offer a lot of very cheap vills, and also some pretty useful techs, right? You can see what's coming a little bit earlier, and get 2 free vills for your troubles of like 200 food. So if we take a look now at Frontline as well, he looks like he's going pretty greedy. I mean, he's going max Avens, if I see correctly, but he does have a forward war camp. He's shipping 700 coin. I believe, after 700 wood, and he is now batching Gascania. So I expect some sort of Musk timing in H2.
Yeah, but this is kind of playing into Keturboy's hands, right? We are seeing Keturboy making some musketeers. He's got these very big mercenary shipments. Like, this is a thing that makes Italy such a good, incredibly strong, some might say too overpowered civ. Is not only their ability to FI, but they basically got the best mercenary shipments in the game. Gascania coming in, the Basilica manages to spot it before the tower even spots it. And yeah, these musketeers are going to be able to deal with these Gascanias, especially with the lower HP, because Gascania is going down, one musketeer going down for Italy. And you might think these small engagements don't really matter, but at this level, these engagements are everything. This means that Ethiopia is kind of barred from ever pushing into Italy's base. Not ever, but at least the next 2 minutes, because he's going to get outmassed.
That was a
Advanced
phenomenal
Lombard
trade.
coming in.
Like, for having the first engagement, trading one musketeer or one Gascania, one musketeer for 4 Gascania. That was just an incredible trade for Keturboy. Definitely swing the tempo in his favor in early H2. That's like almost a full batch, or like a 3 musketeer deficit, right?
Yeah, that is pretty big. That was interesting. What was that card? Is that 600 XP and Lombard? What is that card again? Monte di Piesta. Yeah, there we go. So 600 coin and a Lombard. That is actually a very, very, very solid pickup here. Now we're shipping 700 coin behind this, and it's looking like we're macroing for a mercenary shipment. And behind that mercenary shipment, we're going to want to age up. Now shuttles are going to come in. Their sole purpose right here is to snare these musketeers, and they're doing a very good job at it. Gascania is shooting in behind with their higher rate of fire and more range. Let's not forget, the closer they get to units, the higher their rate of fire gets for some very weird reason. Don't ask me why, but that is a thing that they have. Shuttle still being alive, Explorer still snaring as well. A lot of musketeers going down for Italy, and this is a very, very nice trade for Ethiopia. This is exactly what Ethiopia to that horrid trade to begin the game with these musketeers. And Explorer is going to take a while to go down now. Kenya have just taken so many units down, and you can kind of see it reflected in the score. Both civs do overscore quite a bit. More Gascania out on the field right now. We have 20 in total for Frontline, and if we are looking over at Italy's perspective, what is going down? Another Lombard is coming up, and are we going to see an age up, or are we going to see a mercenary ship? Advanced politician. Okay, so we're going to see straight age up here. We're not going to go for any one of these mercenary shipments in H2, so we're not going to see neither the Croatian or the Broken Lands Company. Croatian company could have been so insane here. Oh my god. But anyways, this Schiavoni could have been kiting these poor Gascanias for a millennium. But anyways, we are seeing another Lombard, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's going to be the 5th Lombard going up. Oh no, barracks. Okay, so 5th Lombard. 1, 2, 3, 4 Lombards up right now. He is one away from the max. I don't know if he's noticed it, but yeah, aging up regardless with a fast age politician. Let's see what he's aging up. Is he aging? He probably is, right? No, he's aging up with a marksman. So he's going to get, what is it, like 10 or 11 bowmen from this age up because of the fast age politician? Yeah, so
nice.
That is pretty big, but he is going to have to focus shuttles down, because if these shuttles will live and more shuttles, okay, big shuttle batch coming in behind. This is really dangerous for Keturboy. Keturboy also going to really, he doesn't want the tower to go down, and he wants those Minutemen to be able to do more damage, kind of scare away the units. But okay, he decided to cancel it. Smart. I didn't really like the Minutemen call here, not yet at least. Kind of really wanted what? Oh no, the marksman actually gives him the musketeers.
Whoops.
I didn't know that either. Like with every civ is skirmishers, right?
I guess the adventure is the bows.
Yes, you're
That's the
right.
one.
You're
Yeah,
right.
marksman is the most.
We are noobs, Baron. We are noobs,
Noobcaster.
especially
No
me.
bowcasters.
Noobcasters, no bowcasters. But yeah, so far holding out right here. Kato, Frontline's perspective, excuse me, he has to be thinking about an age up, right? Like, you cannot stick this through an H2 and fight against Falconets. There we go. Macroing for an age up right here. 24 villagers. Let's see the amount of Abons he has on the field. I'll be surprised if he doesn't have the full amount of 5 out on the field. Let's see how many Abens he's got.
Yep, yeah, does
There
have
we go.
5.
5 Abens. Yeah, so his economy is kind of better right now, I would say. Judging to the fact that he does have mountain monasteries, he does have cattle, but it's not that much better than Italy's. And Italy is going to push your FB, and before you're going to age, you're going to lose your 4 base, you're going to lose a mountain monastery. That is not really good. But on the other hand, Keturboy, what are we doing? This is not a barracks, my brother. This is a barracks at a stable. If you're not careful, some shuttles can pop up your Falcons and kind of rain on your parade. But anyways, luckily enough, Keturboy is going to age into the next stage. So he's not going to be making any units. And Keter is happily going to take this FB down, and we do have kind of a counter raid coming up. Yeah, he's kind of sacking these villas, hoping to get the architects away, but the architects are running right into the house to try and get the architects back into the TC, and he's not going to lose a single architect. I mean, losing 3 villagers is not fun at all, but losing 3 architects is much, much worse. Keturboy counter pushing his push right now, going into the base of Ethiopia, trying to hypen up and upper the APM of Frontline, trying to get him to be as quick as he is, because Keturboy knows that he's very quick. And Frontline kind of falling asleep right now, eating a couple of Falconet shots for free. Another lock-on coming in for the Falconet, but sadly it went on a fail, so he's not going to achieve much. But a couple of Abens and a couple of villagers, as is a lot of army for Frontline right now. Big boy Sebastopol mortar is out. A couple of Mestenas are out situation.
I have no idea. I think it's really down to the wire. To me, it seems Ethiopia has the slight advantage because a lot of idle time now. And maybe if he can hold, this mortar is very scary. Just get like 2 Avens on that guy, just in case. Oh, but Keturboy going right into range here. But he might get sandwiched. The Gascania are now coming back. They're gonna be healed up by the mountain monster, but the mortar is going down for free. Oh, getting one last shot off at least. But this is not the best trade, I think.
This is not the best trade for Ethiopia, but still he's probably going to be able to clean up if he manages to take down these Falconets, because there's not a lot of musketeers left for Italy here out here on the floor. And if I'm Keturboy, I'm retreating. I'm going to that Basilica and I'm getting a priest right now because I want to heal up. I don't want to lose them. These Falconets are what we have, that Frontline doesn't have anymore. If Frontline wants to counter this, he has to not only put down a palace, he also has to spend all of his influence on Culverins, and that is just a big win for me as Italy, because I'm going to probably look to age behind. I don't want to stay at H3 as Italy. I want to go to the age where, I have a clear advantage, which is H4.
Yeah, I do want
let's look at the Lombard income.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
go ahead.
He did get his 5th Lombard going down right now, but I did want to point out that this map is extremely large. It takes a long time, maybe almost a minute, to get your units from Frontline's base over to Keturboy's base. And that means that if Keturboy right now just runs his units around a little bit, tries to delay, he might be able to get H4 for free. And it does look like he's no longer making units. He is about to macro for that H4. And that means that if he just delays maybe an extra minutes, he will be aging to H4 pretty much for free. So that would definitely secure the game compared to Ethiopia in H3. And
look at how far away Ethiopia is from doing any actual damage. Like, by the time he reaches the Italian base, it's going to be around 1425, 1430 if he just beelines over there, and that's just so much time. Musketeers on the side being caught very nicely for Frontline. But yeah, like, I think Frontline is realizing, like, I can't do anything until I get influence out on the floor. And the fact that Keturboy not only managed to survive and kind of thrive in H3, let's be honest, he also managed to keep both of his Falconets alive. It's just such a godsend for him. And if I'm not mistaken, here he's going to be aging up with the Engineer as well to H4. Yes, he is. And he's just going to get more Falconets out. And it's almost like there's almost no reason to switch over for Musketeers. And I would even argue getting Guard Musketeers is not even a bad play here in H4.
So am I right that this age up gives you 3 Falconets because of the Advanced Politician card?
I think it does. I'm not sure if it only affects the first age up, but it probably also affects the second age up.
It
I think
all
it does.
Politicians strip extra rewards, so I'm pretty sure it does. That would be insane. You get a 5 Falconet timing for free, essentially. Like, that is, as you said, if you just get the maybe even Guard Musketeers, he's shipping 9 musketeers as well. Maybe just as a safety shipment. I assume he'll cancel that and go for one of the big boy H4 unit shipments, or even factories if he wants to go a bit greedier. But yeah, I mean, 5 falconets. What is Ethiopia's counter for this? They need a palace. They probably need imported cannons, which he has already gotten, so he will need to be queuing culverins. I mean, you'll never catch up in terms of falconets against H4 artillery from Keturboy. You need the culverins, in my opinion.
But he is queuing falconets right now.
Yes, he is.
That is not good for Ethiopia.
Yeah.
One thing I will note, I've played a game against Frontline's Ethiopia once, and I thought I was very much ahead. I killed like 15 vills, and then he shipped a card in age 1 that gave him the 15 vills back, and I have never ever wanted to hate on Frontline more in my life. And there we go, Aroma Migrations, he has the card in deck.
It's just
Absolutely
one build for each one
nightmares.
you have lost so far. It's the anti-rating card.
It is the anti-rating card, and oof, big unpack for the Falconets. They're getting a couple of shots off, and a lock-on shot. Look at how much damage one shot did. Wow, it did more than all these other 5 Falconets combined. That was huge right here, and there's a very big amount of musketeers out on the floor. I want to see if Keturboy is going to eventually tech into guard. Okay, so he is taking into guard musketeers. Very, very nice. We're going to see some beautiful guard musketeer Italians. And we are going to see a big switch into the most annoying unit in the game, probably behind the Vuvuzelas of Hausa. We are going to see the guard Bassalieri, and these Bassalieri basically mop the floor with everything on here. Neftenias can't fight with them, Gaskenias can't fight with them, a shuttle switch is not going to be effective enough. Okay, 2 culverins coming out right here for Ethiopia, going to take down 1 falconet as of right now, but the sad thing for him is these Bersaliegi can just come close and kind of shoot them.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I guess probably the same number of vills if he counts the Abens, but they also have stronger economy. They have just so many units, and now this is a big engagement of the game. I think the skirms are going in on the culverins, both culverins down. We still have 3 falconets left over for Keturboy, and I think this is GG here. I mean, how are you ever going to deal with that much artillery left over?
You don't, and it's not only the artillery, it's like Keturboy has used the artillery. The game plan for Keturboy was use the artillery, use tiers just in time to be able to stabilize and get to H4 where I could actually start pumping units. And not only has he succeeded in it, he's thrived in it so much where he's actually just stuck to the same unit comp in H4. Like, you rarely ever see Musketeer Falconet from Italy in H4, and it's worked, so why not just keep on going with it? Now, Ethiopia is in a pickle here. We are getting counter infantry rifling, for Keturboy right here. Ooh, and that is a lot of Neftenias going down. That is this big reinforcement batch right here that was trading. That's a lot of resources, and yeah, Frontline has seen enough, and he calls it GG.
Yeah.
Keturboy takes the second game of this play all 5 series.
Yeah, that was worse than a pickle, I have to say. I mean, you're getting crushed by 3 falconets, these guard skirmishers that stun your units and have 5 point. They should have 5 speed, right? I think this is from a drag box, but they have 5 speed. They can run down
5 and a bit, yeah.
Anything in your composition. And then these tanky guard musketeers. I mean, he kept so many musketeers alive, Keturboy, in H3 that it just made sense to go for that musketeer falconet composition instead of the papal guard and just spam double batches of these Bersaglieris and just run down Frontline, who has the weaker units, who has the weaker economy at this point. And even the weaker shipment curve, because if you look at Keturboy, how much XP Italy gets on a non-TP map, it is honestly pretty ridiculous. He's up a full shipment, almost 2 shipments at one point. I guess just 1 shipment here. But if you look at the XP...
Look at how much XP is being trickled from these Lombards.
Dude, he's up 2,000 XP. That's like... Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
I mean, I've long proposed a nerf to Italy, which I think will just fix the Civ and make every building that is built by an architect will not give you XP. It's as simple as that. Once you get to that, I don't think it's an issue anymore. I think the Civ will be fixed.
Yeah,
oh my
that's
God, why is my
interesting take.
lighting so bad? I look like I'm in a terrorist hideout or something.
Oh, no.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, what are you doing here, Shake?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Keturboy here taking game number 2. I did make a mistake in game 1 of choosing the wrong civ, so let me fix that real quick for you guys in the overlay. Apologies, but yeah, I mean, right now I think Keturboy taking a pretty decisive lead in this matchup. There is a little bit of a I guess a point of pride, or there's an additional like stake in this game, which is that Julian earlier in this tournament did 5-0 Frontline, which to me was a little bit surprising. I think Frontline on good days can take one game off Julian, maybe even more. But now Keturboy to really solidify himself as one of these top 3 players of the modern era of AoE3, he wants to make a statement and kind of match that scoreline with a 4-1 or a 5-0. And I think Keturboy is kind of on track to do that. He is playing very, very well. I think in that last game, maybe there was only one slight mistake, which is that in H2, he pushed out with the weaker Massive Musketeers and took an unfavorable trade against the Shawtels, the Ethiopian Explorer. But otherwise, to me, as a little bit of a nobo, it seems like Keturboy is playing this game flawlessly, like perfect decision making, really moving his units well, buying time for himself when he needs, getting the right timings, and yeah, it seems like the series is really kind of snowballing in favor of Keturboy.
Dude, I'm being fat shamed in these comments. But yeah, at least Lion recognizes built and just big. I'm not fat. I just have this horrible fucking camera. I am a little bit fat. Let's be honest. I'm a bit bigger than what I used to be. But you know, we still have the guns. We still have the muscles. Got to eat some more salads. As who said that? AK15446272 was right. I do need to eat more. I actually made a very nice salad today. So yeah. Thank you very much, Knife. Big people in here. Big Hakon, one of my favorite members of MFAL clan. Big Hakon, and yeah, Stanley, you're right. It's just the Belgian beer, man. Just makes me fat. When I used to live in Israel, I was so lean. I showed Baron a picture. Baron has the proof. He has the sauce. He knows what I'm talking about. I was lean, mean, killing machine, and fat shit. But it is what it is.
Big Shake.
It is what it is. Shake bake. Okay, back into AoE3. Keturboy is going to be playing Otto into Frontline's Brit. Now, it kind of feels like this matchup is good for Brit at like the highest of elos, but you know, Keturboy playing Otto, one of his main squeezes against Frontline's Brit, a player that's kind of more greedy. I don't know how he survives Jan Falk by Keturboy, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think this is definitely slightly favored for Brits. They just have so many units in H2 and can often crush us around. But it's still pretty 50-50, right? I mean, I've seen players in this tournament and in past tournaments win this matchup from both sides. Oftentimes, if you give Ottoman too much time and try to mass too long in H2 without taking a fight, and ultimately ends up getting Mamelukes, getting Spahi, getting the Jan combat card, it ends up being impossible to win any fights, even if you're significantly outmassing Otto and out-ecoing Otto. So, which map is this? Maybe that'll make a difference. This is.
It is going to be played on Finland. Yeah.
So there is water on this map, right?
I don't remember the last time Brit lost on this map. I won today with Brit on Finland. Opti won with Brit on Finland. It's just one of the best maps for Brit because of that wood chopping tech that you get in H1. It's kind of like a free gang saw, and then when you actually research gang saw, you know, it's kind of like double gang saw on top, and it's so early for Brit. You get so many manners out now. As for Brit on how to tackle this, you kind of really got two ways to play this. If you're intending on playing H2, you know, just going for more of an aggro build, trying to idle Otto. But what you can do as well is kind of in base, force Otto to come to you, do kind of a 700 wood, 600 wood into 700 coin shipment. We can do that as well, but I don't know. It feels like if both players were equally skilled, I would have to give the edge to Brit. But seeing as Keturboy is slightly better than Frontline, I would give Keturboy the edge in this game.
Yeah, I think I totally agree. I know Keturboy oftentimes he might not start water, but at some points, if he ever finds himself in need of more food, if he's stacking wood or anything, he is a player that will always add water at some point in the game, right? It's building a dock with just 200 wood that maybe he's floating and making sure that he's spending all his resources effectively. And maybe we'll see some sort of play like that on this map as well. I'll be right back. The players are in the process of starting their game, but I'm going to use the restroom and keep the chat occupied, Shake. Give him some big Shake energy.
Shit. I'm gonna make a very bad joke. No, I'm not gonna make it. I wanted to make a very bad joke, but I'm not gonna do it. So, yeah, let's see who's in the chat right now. We got Spaceman Tonberry. What a super cool name. Koi Carpfin, Rain Tan, Minute Woman. Very, very nice names. Got the big Garge, the big G. Igor saying, Shay, can you cast without clothes? You know what? If Giggs gives his green light right now, I swear I take off my shirt. I'm just gonna do it. Big Jalapet in the chat. Moonshaisa in the chat as well. 4200 Elo Brem. We're just lucky Brem doesn't sign up for these big tournaments, because if he would, he would just take all the games off of everyone. No one would have a chance. Colonel AoE, which I have been told is big strike, big boy, much love. So yeah, Baron, if we can get agreement from Giggs, I am going to stream this shirtless.
Yeah, we're gonna need a that's beyond my pay grade, I think.
We're gonna have to have the higher ups involved in this.
Yeah, but speaking of that, or I guess moving on from that, let's head into the game. It has started.
All right, so I'll be ready to introduce it while you're ready, Baron.
Yeah, let's go.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 3 of this Play All 5 series hosted by ESOC for the ESOC Premier League between these absolute two titan heavyweight players. What a lovely evening we have watching, casting, and producing these absolute phenoms of the game on the south side of the map in the color blue, playing as the mighty British Empire, excuse me, on this absolutely phenomenal, breathtaking map of Finland. We have the best North American player in the game right now, Frontline, and on the north side of the map, his opponent playing in the color red as the Ottomans. We have Turk playing Turk. Now, let me tell you something right here, Baron.
Yeah.
In this game, there is nothing scarier than players playing their home country. So Keter has 2. He has France and he has Otto, right? Usually China playing China, very scary. And Turk playing Turk is probably the scariest of them all. Couple of examples, Karen B. Need I say more? So can you just please restart your stream because it's doing the thing again.
Oh, interesting. Okay, let me fix that. This is better.
Thank you very much.
All right. So yeah, let's take a quick look at the decks. We have a pond deck from Brits, which means that I expect them to be going more anti-water, but not water themselves. Oftentimes, the mana boom for Brits is just stronger than their own water boom in terms of tempo and early game eco. So I expect that he just has these 2 caravels and the 1 frigate card to deny or contest any water play from Ottoman that you kind of always have to expect or have a contingency plan for. He does also have the Scots Guard and the Coldstream Guard H3 upgrades for his Musketeers. So, I mean, overall, it's looking pretty standard to me. He does have a refrigeration as well, going a little bit greedier potentially than a standard Brit deck. But I think this is nowadays somewhat common in many of the top players' Brit decks.
I don't know. I don't know what the point is behind having refrigeration instead of 1,000 coin. But we'll see. Frontline, as I said, incredible player, so he knows what he's doing, I assume. So, yeah, let's see. Keturboy also very big enjoyer of the Age 1 capitalism card, but contrary to Frontline, he has already shipped his 3 vills, and his deck is called 1v1 Water Jad, so we also have schooners in deck, and I think I have a prediction for what we're gonna see this game. I'm not gonna spoil too much, but I think this game is gonna be a very good advertisement for Uber.
Hello, Shake?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I think you cut out a bit at the end, so we didn't hear it. But you mentioned something about an advertisement?
Oh yeah, I said this game is going to be an advertisement.
What's
know?
going on? You cut out again at the end. Sorry. Every
Oh
time
my
you said
God.
advertisement. What can you
Advertisement for Uber.
I see. So I see. So I guess you're saying that we might get a drop and dip with some Falcons.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be quite fun to see for sure. I will say that Keturboy got basically the worst possible Age 1 for Ottoman. He had no wood treasure. He had to chop 50 wood, and I don't believe he got a food treasure. So he aged at like 232, and he's only coming up to Age 3 at about 3 minute 57, 58, which I think is about as slow as an Ottoman Age 1 can really go. However, he does have 5 bills coming in immediately. He did get enough XP for that. So overall, I mean, it's not the worst, but the Age 1 I think would definitely left some to be desired. And he is dropping a dock.
I mean, he is dropping a dock, and he's going to go for a little bit of water greed here. I like it. I like it a lot. He's not going to go straight into H3. He is seeing that Brit from his age up. He's going in base with the tower, as you can see. So there's nothing really to be scared of if you're Ottoman right now. Brit also going pretty greedy, as you can see. Barracks only coming down right now by managing to kill the Explorer. You don't know how huge this is right now, Barracks. This is absolutely humongous. Like, Frontline has no idea what's going on. He could be getting to fast right now. He can be facing a Jan Rush. He can be facing a greedy water auto. Like, he does not know what's going on. He's not going to be able to scout it, and this is going to buy him so much time right now to be able to just greed and water boom better, and being able to go into H3 eventually with an eco that's not that much worse than Brits.
Yeah, I mean, the ability of this Mabir to be denying so much vision and so much scouting, and also just get that free XP from the Explorer, I think it's just so powerful. And really, I think I need to be doing this more often in most matchups, especially even matchups against like the War Chief civs, against civs like China, maybe Lakota. Like this Mabur is just so powerful in terms of getting amazing value immediately upon hitting H2.
Yeah, it is. Spies are an absolutely underused unit in the game. The value you get from them, being able to put them in a in undercover mode or whatever, being able to spot so many huge swaths of the map. And your stream is doing it again. I'm sorry, Baron, but it's like in my ear.
I mean, try a different kind of stream. Let's see here. Hopefully this will work.
There we go.
I think oftentimes the issue is that when you're streaming with OBS and other things, there's multiple streams going on at the same time, and it maybe interferes in some way. But sorry
Exactly.
about that.
All good. Are you seeing what I'm seeing right now? Are we seeing Ottoman on 27, about to be 28 and 29 villagers to age up, and basically with a better eco than Brit right now, because he does have capitalism in, and he doesn't have vills that he has to buy with food. So Otto kind of has a better eco than Brit right now.
Yeah,
Although Brit is getting more manners, and he is going to ship the 4 vills, so eventually Brit will outscale. But at minute 7, Otto and Brit having the same eco is good for Otto, definitely.
Definitely. And don't forget, Otto also has that TP and Mosque, so they have that extra XP income as well with the better shipping curve. I will say though, is Otto really gonna be outskilled hard in the mid game? Because if they have this dock and they just consistently pump out a boat every once in a while when he's stacking wood, they're gonna be basically on 1.5 to 2 TCs compared to Brits, where after they complete their mana boom, their scaling potential is really nerfed, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sorry, couldn't really hear you. I just want to grab a water there. So, what did you say?
Oh, I was just saying that with the dock, and the TPs, plus the mosque from Keturboy, he is not scaling too poorly. He's basically on a TC and a half, almost 2 TCs with that dock. And after Brits completes his Manor Boom, the scaling potential of Brits might not be even as good as the scaling potential from Otto.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Otto can also put a TC like right on the right side, on the top right side, just in that socket between those, between that mine and that hunt over there, and just be absolutely fine, be in such a great position. But I don't really think he's going to aim for that. 700 coin coming in for Brit. He's going to try and hit Ottoman with a timing with Musk Husk. I don't really know how I feel about that. Score is a bit overinflated right now for him. If we switch over to Ottoman's perspective, let's see what he is going to be shipping as a first shipment. He's going to go into Falconets first. Okay. So he doesn't have a lot of Janissaries out of what, like 8, 9, 10 Janissaries total? 14 Jans, okay. So these 4 are gonna get caught out. So these 15 Janissaries are gonna be all he's gonna have to protect these Falconets, and I don't think it's gonna be enough if Brit decides to take a fight in open field, but knowing Keturboy, he's probably going to pick and choose exactly where he's going to fight. Veteran Janissaries coming in, and I will not be surprised if it's going to be followed either by 8 Janissaries or by the 5 Spahis.
Yeah, I think he's probably... I mean, at this point, isn't it worth just shipping Spahi? I mean, you're almost stacking 1,000 food. And I'm a bit surprised that Otto only has this one military production building. He is on 32 villagers and capitalism. So I would really have liked to see Otto with a second military production building at this point, right? Instead of stacking.
And it's as if he heard you.
Oh.
It's as if he heard you, because we're going in. We're gonna chop wood, and we're gonna probably put down a couple more buildings.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I am not a big fan of Keter pushing right now. You really want to wait on your 8 Jans and maybe even the supporting 5 Jans right here, because 10 Hazars and a lot of Musketeers are kind of going to right-click this mass, and then your whole tempo and momentum is gone with the. Yes, you have Jans. Yes, you have Vet Jans. Don't underestimate the amount of stupidly large amount of units that Brit can get out on the field. Like, we're still talking about the best civilization in the game, right? Brit is, in my opinion at least, without a doubt, the best civ in the game, and do not underestimate it on one of its best maps.
Yeah, definitely agree. Although now, I mean, the Janissaries are coming together. He's getting his mass together, and the Brit mass is not as scary as I was expecting. I mean, it's 10.5 minutes. Let's see, Brit did go. Oh, yeah, that is why Brit is following up to H3 with the Adventurer, which I believe gives you the longbows, and that is why we're not seeing as big of a surround from Brit. So what do you think about this? To me, it seems like Brit is sacrificing map control. They're sacrificing some H2 tempo in exchange for a weaker H3 play than what Ottoman kind of has up their sleeve.
What I think right now of Brit's situation is this would have been absolutely fine if Otto didn't have more than 10 fish. Otto's eco on water is just too good. He's on 36 villagers. He's getting Jan combat ready. He's going to right-click that TC, which he shouldn't do, probably, unless he has some water support with it, because Minutemen and a Whirlpool can be really, really deadly. Oh, there we go. There is the galley. You can just retreat to the galley if, the Uber, as I said. If things go bad, the Krikre is doing it again, but we don't care right now. Fight is... Bills are going to get pulled. Minutemen are probably going to get called. Falconets are going to be surrounded right now by all sorts of villagers and Minutemen coming in, but the Falcons are getting some very nice value. Jans in melee trying to take as many Hazards as possible with them to the grave, but at the end of the day, the Falconets are going to be overwhelmed by the villagers and by the Minutemen and by the Musketeers and by the Longbows and by the Hazars, but right on cue, Uber is here, rescuing the Janissaries, and we are absolutely out of here, managing to rescue quite a healthy chunk of Janissaries, even though the fight didn't go that well for him. We have a very, very, very nice rescue operation there. Kind of a Red Sea Diamond Resort situation, and these Janissaries are going to live to fight another day. But something I'm not really liking right now here for Frontline is for Keturboy, is that we're going to see MAMs coming in, but feel kind of baseless right now because yes, you have Janissaries out on the field, but no more Falconets, no more really heavy hitting that can really, you know,
Dish out the damage.
do the
from
damage
back
while
line, right? Yeah.
exactly while the MAM's snare. So, yeah.
I mean, let's take a look at the economies before the next big fights. Keturboy now on 42 bills and Frontline only on 43. So the economies are incredibly similar. I think Otto even has the edge, right? Because they still have that TP, they still have that Mosque, they have capitalism. I would say with all that, maybe it's a combined 5 more vills, maybe 6 more vills compared to Brit. And this is something that you really don't usually see. Along with the score is actually now very close between the two civilizations when Brit is, I think, supposed to slightly overscore in this matchup. So I'm a bit curious. Veteran Musketeers coming in for Brits. They're also getting veteran Hussars. No shipments ready for the next big fight, but he is kind of moving all his units, posturing all of his units to take a fight next to this TP, which might be quite good because now Brits has the 2 Falconets, while Ottoman only has Janissaries and these 4 Mamelukes.
I mean, I'm sad to say this, but Falconets do absolutely nothing to Janissaries. A Falconet shot does not even kill a Janissary outright because they have 301 HP. And if I'm Keturboy right now, I'm not doing any of this fancy stuff with guns. There we go, that's what you do. You just move these big boys forward and you just right click. These are Janissaries, my friend. These are not Carolians. These are not Musketeers. We go forward and we right click. All the mans are still alive, bar one. Ooh, but a big supporting batch of Musketeers actually coming in from the map. This is not even that bad for Keturboy, as I'm saying this right now. 1 Falconet going down. Look at that one Janissary with his big machete, with his big sword, just taking down that Falconet. Mams as well trying to take the Falconets down, and score is going down for Brit. If we're looking at the Otto is actually ahead villager-wise. 46 villagers for Otto right now and 45 villagers for Brit. That is not something you see every day, especially not pre-minute 15 in this matchup. That one Mameluke is just going to survive absolutely for ages if the Musketeers are not going to go into melee on him. And these longbows have not really been able to do what they do best, which is stand at very far range and just DPS everything down, because the Jans have just always been able to get into range of them. Do so much damage. Now that one Mameluke that has remained alive has just managed to flip this entire fight later on and just managed to let these reinforcements trickle in for Otto. And as we're seeing, the score is equal, and when the score is equal as Brit against Otto, you know that you're in position.
Yeah, definitely agree. I mean, at some points in that fight, it looked like Otto was just getting outmassed, but they have just the higher quality units. The 4 Mamelukes living forever, able to eventually take down the Falcons as well, compared to just age 2 Longbowmen and these age 3 uncarded Musketeers. These Musketeers just get absolutely sat down by the veteran Janissaries with Jan Combat. 301 HP compared to 180 HP, and even more attack. Janissary is supposed to be a tanky, low damage units, but having more attack than these British Musketeers before their upgrades come in. So that fight just ended up being so great for Ottoman. And I mean, now Ottoman has the economic advantage. They're shipping 1k coin. They have an artillery foundry even behind this. So I expect he'll be going into Falconet play or Avis play, and here he is deciding to opt for the Falconet play.
Ooh, big shot right there by the Falconet on these longbows, taking so many longbows with it and a lot of HP off of them. But like, it's kind of funny that we're seeing Keturboy win the series so far just with Musk Falc. Isn't it a bit ironic that we're seeing one of the best micro and APM players just win with Musk Falc? Last game with Italy, this game with Otto, we haven't even seen a single Abus gun so far. Ooh, but I like it. We are seeing long lines coming in for the fishing upgrade. 52 villagers out on the field for Ottoman. How is Brit ever supposed to win this game when Ottoman is out?
Yeah, I don't know. And if we look at the land situation, right, the hunts are really starting to dry out. Brits is really extended on the map. They have vills on the top here. They're gonna need this hunt like in the next maybe 30 seconds to 1 minute. And after that, it's really not clear to me where Brit can gather. This is their last hunt. I think Keturboy knows this. And he just needs to mass, and eventually push there. And Brits has, I mean, to me, Brit has nothing if they can't gather resources. Yeah, that's exactly where Keturboy is going. He's going for a beeline to the middle of the map where he knows the last natural resources or hunts are on the land. And these villagers will either have to go down or just evacuate.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. And not only that, just the fact that he continuously double batches his Janissaries. For some reason, Frontline keeps on adding Hazars, and I don't really understand why. Because, I mean, I guess he's guessing that maybe there's going to be a big Ava switch, but from what we're seeing right now on the field, there's pure Jans, and these Jans are not going to die to anything. And I've had this conversation with ooh, nice raid, by the way. I've had this conversation earlier today with Moonshot. How, when playing against infantry civs for Brit mid game in H3, it's probably just better to ship the Grenadier card, where you get the Grenadier upgrade plus the grenade launcher, because longbows don't really cut it. If you're looking at Janissary, you're looking at their HP. Like, they can just get close to longbows and just kill them, and the longbows won't do enough damage to them. Whereas if you look at the Grenadiers and what they'll be able to achieve against Musketeers, it's just better. And right now we don't even have vet longbows on the field, and ooh, so many villagers going down. Shots. We're gonna get another shot. Ooh, we're not, but we are going to hit the longbows right there. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pop now for Auto. They're on more pop than Brit in terms of their military. So Spahi just came in as well. These are some chonky boys. Oh, what is this artillery switch though from Frontline? Completely missed that. 3 Falconets, 2 Culverins. And this is now maybe interesting. I mean, these Janissaries are still so strong. They're on the front line. They don't get, as you mentioned, they don't get one shot by these Falconets. And they would live for quite a while. But 4 Falconets still alive compared to just 1 Falconet. And the Spahi were absolutely melted here. That was a phenomenal trade for Frontline, I think.
That was a very good front fight there from them. We can just restart this stream really, really quickly before the next fight.
Yeah, let me do that.
So it was very big, but like I'm kind of scared for Frontline. When is Keturboy going to decide? Well, I'm just going to right click everything, artillery, and good luck trying to stop my Janissaries. Because as I said, 4 Falconets will take down 3 Jans. Like, that's the issue here. And by the time that happens, like a Falconet and a Culverin, like they're 500 resources a pop. And if Keturboy just manages to go in and right click on them, we're getting Cav Caress. Okay. Ooh, but okay, caravels are being trained from double docks right here on the south side on the water, and Frontline and the frigate is being shipped. Frontline is going to try and take Keturboy off the water. Frigate being shipped for auto as well, so a couple of vills going down. Let's up our APM Baron. Let's try and cast this as good as possible, because these players, from what I'm seeing, are giving an absolute show, and we're kind of doing them short here. Okay, Culverin's unpacking. Let's check on the water simultaneously, as well as he's kind of running away from each other. Frigate managed to take down that caravel. Frigate from Brit trying to heal up as well. That tower is going to be able to support the water, and look at how nicely these fishing boats are still all gathered. While on the north side of the map, we are seeing the Culverins. 2 Culverins for 1 Culverin here. Advantage for Keturboy. Keturboy managed to take down one of the British Culverins for free. Because, as you know, Ottoman artillery, they will have more to do if they ship the HP card in. And yeah, now Keturboy can kind of keep pushing in, because he's got the anti-artillery composition on lock. He's got an advantage when it comes to that, and he doesn't know it, but he's got so many musketeers that he doesn't even... He can just right-click. The Culverins are almost useless here.
Yep, he's finally adding Abyss as well. 13 Abyss. I assume he shipped the 6 and also made a batch or so. And more Culverins are coming out. Oh, losing one for free here. The other one is not in position, and he might end up losing the second as well.
Yeah, he is going to lose the second eventually, when the Jans are just going to go forward, and an Abyss switch coming in, as you have said very smartly, Baron. But like, what does Brit even do in this position? Because as we said, the Janissaries, they just don't die. A couple of them meleeing down the last remaining Culverin, and these Abyss guns, yes, they're trading, and probably not as efficiently, but they're still taking down so many Falconets with them. That's 2 Falconets already going down for free. That's another Culverin going down for free. All the infantry mass is gone. 3rd Falconet going down, and now the 4th is just going to go down to these Abyss guns, and Janissary is just absolutely right-clicking it. And there we go. Frontline calls it, and Keturboy takes a commanding 3-0 series lead right now.
Yeah, that was an absolutely insane game. Yeah, we did miss a little bit of the water here, but I mean, Frontline with that, tower here and the frigates of Keturboy was just not able to break through, even though he committed quite hard on the water. In addition, I noticed towards the end of that game, Frontline had just nothing on food. I think at some points he had 30, 40 villagers on wood and coin and 6 villagers on food. And that's why he had to go into the artillery play, making falconets and culverins. But, I mean, these Jan combated Jans are just simply too good. And what can you do against these boys here when your Falcons can't even one-shot them? And your Abyss guns are strong enough to even take favorable, maybe, but at least decent traits against all of your artillery. And, yeah, Frontline just couldn't make this game happen. And Keturboy taking a commanding lead, as you said, up 3-0 now.
Yeah, it was almost just a case of Keturboy felt like he never really missed a batch, did he? He was, did he? No point intended. He was always just on top of it. He was always just on top of the units, making all these units and just never really letting off the damage and the aggression when he was ahead. You know, that's a big thing as well that separates the absolute upper echelon and top players from the rest is when you're ahead and when you smell blood, you pounce immediately. And that's what Keturboy every single time he's ahead. And it's just fascinating to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Keturboy also is a player that is able to, through mechanics, kind of survive and be greedier than many other players. So, and get away with it, you know, like here he started Doc. He was able to still get a very decent age up to age 3. Still, I mean, never misses a batch, gets the right unit composition, gets the kind of the right micro to survive any type of Brit timing. And that Uber that you mentioned with the Caravel ended up also saving some of his Jan mass, right, in the first fights when Brits was kind of posturing for their game-winning timing. So, yeah, overall, I mean, I definitely agree with what you said. Keturboy just knows how to kind of put himself in a position where he out-ecos his opponents, has more units than his opponents, and is able to really let his mechanics shine. So that's really what we're seeing here.
On that note, Baron, if you don't mind, I am going to cigarette. The nicotine just yearns in me. I have to do it before I do stuff I don't want to do. So I will be right back. I'll leave the chat over minutes. Okay?
Yep, sounds good. All right, see ya. We do have the 4th game in terms of the civilization picks. It's a USA mirror on the map, which is Vistula Basin. So this is a map with a very, if I remember, it's a nice TP line in the middle with 4 TPs and also some very, very strong natives. So with any kind of map like this, I think USA is the go-to civ now where the Chinese immigrants build. Maybe not even shipping Highlanders, but there's potential for H2 play. There's potential for a very, very strong H3 play with like 4 to 6 TPs in some situations with just Chinese immigrants. So with the USA mirror, that'll definitely be extremely interesting. So, how is it going, chats? Baron, turn your... Is the volume still too low? I mean, I have my volume like all the way up now, I think. How's the volume now? Shake is twice as loud? Damn, okay. Guess I'll tune him down a little bit. Okay. How does it sound now? I know Shake isn't here, but does it sound good? Sounds the same? I'm not louder? Alright. Hopefully the sound is better now. I mean, I turned myself all the way up. Yeah, but maybe a Big Shake just has bigger mic. Okay, so I will start us off. The game has started. So let's load ourselves right into the game. All right, welcome everybody to Game 4 of the ESOC EPL And we have a great series today between Keturboy and Frontline. On the south side of this map, Vistula Basin, we have Frontline playing as the color red with USA. And on the north side of the map, we have Keturboy in the color blue playing as the USA as well. And this is a very interesting map. Let's take a look at which natives we got this time. We have House of Vasa, which has the Hanseatic League tech with the 4 Torp wagons. We also have the House of Yagelian. I'm sorry about the pronunciation, guys, but this one is also nice. There is this balance of powers ability, which equalizes your resource stockpile. There are also some nice techs here. For example, the hand cavalry ranged armor, adding 0.1 ranged armor is extremely strong for some of these heavy cavalry units. There's also, I seem to remember there was some, there's a possibility that on this map you can spawn with marriage politics, but I guess that's not in House of Yagelian. I thought it was. But they do have this this legacy card, which gives you the same H-up resources and units again. So yeah, I mean, lots of interesting native play here. But I mean, to be honest, with the USA nowadays, it's no surprise. We're going to be seeing the Chinese immigrants card sent first from both players. We have Keturboy sending it in already, and Frontline even a little bit ahead, already getting his first TP wagons out here. And to me, I think the important thing to see in the early game in a USA mirror is how many TPs you can secure. And oftentimes it just is a result of positioning and your early XP curve to see who can get Chinese immigrants out as early as possible. So here, yeah, Frontline being a little bit sneaky, getting his trading post rickshaw all the way up to Keturboy's side of the map and attempting to take that TP. However, he is going to get snared by the Explorer. Oh no, he's getting snared here. And this is not great. I think that might give the edge to Keturboy and allow him to take this TP first. And it doesn't. Oh wow, it looked like Keturboy's trading post rickshaw was much closer, but somehow Frontline able to secure that TP, which is which is definitely huge, because this one is quite secure, and being able to take at least the TPs on your side of the map means that he won't be down in terms of a potential for a Highlander pop in H2. So here, Frontline following up Chinese immigrants with capitalism. I do wonder if he will also ship the Dutch immigrants bank card in transition. I think this is a very strong card, and it allows you to do a kind of greedier version of the USA Highlander or Chinese immigrants build compared to what Keturboy is doing, which I expect to be more of an H2 focused deck. Yup, exactly. So he has just gone for the Chinese immigrants into advanced saloon, and he will be dropping that saloon, which will give him now 20 population, so he doesn't even need a house. Going up with a 10-10 as well, so he will be aging up extremely fast. Almost maybe 15-20 seconds ahead of Frontline. In H2, what I expect him to send is either trade post wagons first, or the church card, the Pennsylvania.
He is probably going to go for the church card, followed by the 3 outposts, as you said.
Okay.
He is going to get another church extra from it, and he's going to get 2 more saloons, which will allow him eventually to be able to ship the 10 Highlanders, if I'm not mistaken. So he's got 2 TPs, a nat TP, then he's already got a church and he's going to get around about 9 Highlanders actually, by the looks of things.
Yeah. So
It's
really,
gonna be really nice, and Keturboy has already proven earlier that he can win these mirrors, and his timing with the Highlanders is actually phenomenal. When he played the USA mirror on Balkan Mount, Daniel, he performed there really good. So Frontline has to really be on his A game to try and win a USA mirror against Keturboy.
yeah, definitely agree. I will say Frontline here has the slight advantage because he has both of these side TPs, which means that this TP he can get for free because it's within TC range. So he will have the extra TP over Keturboy, which means I believe he can get 10 Highlanders if he wants, or that extra Highlander. So we should be keeping an eye on that to see if that will cause an imbalance later on in the game. But I mean, your statement absolutely correct. He went for the church wagon, the Philadelphia Convention, followed by their Arkansas post, with the 3 trading post wagons that allow you to drop down your meeting house and 2 more of these what are these called, saloons.
Yeah, so actually on second thought, it looks like he's going to get only 8 Highlanders, which isn't bad. Ooh, we are seeing 2 stars from Keturboy. They're taking out the Explorer there. And he's also going to help him get 40 coin and 40 XP here, which, again, XP in a mirror is just so big. But if he doesn't pay attention, he's going to lose it. Just in the nick of time, his Explorer on 85 HP there. But yeah, Frontline actually taking another native TP. So Frontline is going to be able to get more Highlanders than Keturboy.
But his timing is a lot slower. I don't know if this is a build order difference or what, but he's researching steel traps. He's even training some cowboys, maybe to deter the hussars that Keturboy trained earlier on. And his Highlanders are nowhere near getting shipped. I think he's going to have to... They're probably going to be another minute and a half or even 2 minutes until these Highlanders will be on the field. While if you look at Keturboy's POV, these Highlanders are literally about to drop and be marching towards Frontline's base.
Yeah, and what I'm not liking as well, if you're looking at Frontline's base, look at the majority of his food gathering villagers on the right side. He has completely run out of his hunt. If these Hussars and Highlanders can get on these villages here, with the bank blocking as well. Ooh. Pickup here for Frontline, actually. I mean, I don't think if it's a good pickup or if just Keturboy realized he can't really build anything with it after he's just scouting with it, right? Wanting to see what's going on in Frontline's base. But if Keturboy manages to collapse on these villagers there is absolutely nothing Frontline can do about it.
Frontline's trying to age here. This is dangerous stuff. I mean, there are so many high siege units here. These guys have 40 siege, 63 range attack as well. They can just idle your vills forever. And as you mentioned, I mean, these vills are all exposed on the right side here. And if Frontline is not careful, okay, he's gonna run the vills out and away. I think this is the right play here. There's no way they were gonna make it back here without getting shots. And here, TC Fire, I think, does do well
but
against
this is
Highlanders,
so risky,
but he has no
Baron.
TC.
This is so risky.
Sorry, no vills in his TC.
If he notices that there's nothing in the TC, these villagers have no cover. What is he doing?
Oh no, he knows. He sniffed it out, I think.
He probably has. He's looking
sniffed
for
it
these
out.
builds and
He
he's
sniffed
seen
it out.
and he's gonna go for an age up, but
That's
this is his
GG.
entire EO and it's just over. The game is over.
This is just GG. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is this poor scouting or what? I mean, this seems like the complete wrong game plan to go against the Highlander from the USA. You just can't FF with like a slow eco FF like this. You'll just lose so much tempo. Even if these builds did not go down, right? He would be in his base, idling everything, sieging everything, and by the time you age up, do you even have enough of a follow-up to survive? I mean, Keturboy himself can follow up quite quickly after thinking of all these builds.
I am so surprised at what I'm seeing. I'm kind of lost for words, I'll be honest. Keturboy is probably thinking to himself, like, what the hell? And Frontline is left on 4 vills right now.
Yeah,
I mean, his score is higher, so he's just probably gonna try and bluff Keturboy out, but
no, I mean, no.
Ketur isn't stupid. Anymore. Like, he knows that there's no fills left.
It's not higher anymore, Shake. I mean, he's gathering with 4 vills, 3 of which are in his TC. Oh no. Yeah, this is a bit.
I don't know. Lionheart wins games from this position very often. Like, he doesn't make the vills anyways, so.
Yeah. I mean, when Lion's on 4 vills, he probably revolted 6 minutes ago, right? So this is a far cry from that, and I don't see how Frontline can get back into this game. I mean, yeah, he has the bank, which is like 4 more vills. He has these saloons, so he has capitalism too, I believe. So maybe he's more like he's on 10 mils or 11 mils, but
All right.
look at this mass now from Keturboy. These units are just going to DPS everything from behind, focusing the goons down.
I'm ready.
I expect. And these skirm are just getting run down. They have nowhere to go. Just 2 skirms left against the mass of USA infantry. I guess 4 skirms.
I'm wondering how the score system works in this game. That like the scores are equal right now when there's Highlanders on the field and there's Hussars and all of these units. And yeah, Frontline just decides to call it here because like I don't know, 24 vills seem like way better than 5 vills at this point in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Frontline, I mean, Keturboy right now is looking like he's about to do a repeat of what happened earlier on last week, where Julian was able to 5-0 Frontline. It's a bit sad to see, I guess, that as you mentioned, the top 3 players are just on a different level. I will say this game was maybe thrown a little bit by Frontline. It was nowhere near as competitive and as close as the prior games, and he just went for a risky play that didn't end up paying off. But yeah, I think this is an unfortunate loss, and I think Frontline is going to be kicking himself for that.
Yeah, it is, but I do want to say one thing. People might be looking at Frontline's recent tournament results. You know, 5-0 loss to Julian, 5-0 loss to Haza, and now probably what is looking like to Keturboy. But do not forget, he is an absolutely amazing player. The only reason he's getting 5-0 is because he's the guy that is going that far in the tournament, chosen to play against these absolutely amazing players. So, you know, all respect to Frontline for even taking this matchup against Keturboy. And yeah, let's not forget that outside of these guys, like, Frontline is a bona fide top 10 player. So
yeah, definitely.
It's just hard, man. I've played Ketur before, and I've played Ketur in a best of 7, and like the way this series is going, it's kind of how it went in my series against him. Like, the guy is ruthless. He's absolutely amazing. He's an anomaly game. He's just phenomenal. Like, I can't even find the words to describe how good that trio of Julian, Haza, and Keturboy is, and just mad respect for Frontline to even sticking with these guys. So please, guys, save it. Frontline is an absolute monster. He is a beast, but Keturboy's just on another universe right now, Baron, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll be probably the series of the tournament next week where we see Keturboy and Julian K facing off. I'm sure both of them will be doing a lot of prep for that tournament. I mean, for that series, and I'm really curious to see where it goes. I think it could go either way. As you mentioned, Julian is probably a little bit of a favorite here still, as I think he and Haza have demonstrated in prior tournaments that they just have a kind of a longer history, right? Keturboy is really kind of a new top player in the scene. He only really started dominating tournaments in the previous ESOC championship, I believe. The one before, I think he was knocked out a little bit earlier since he had just moved to DE and wasn't familiar with all of the new civilizations and new builds. But I mean, I totally agree that Keturboy nowadays hangs out with the big boys, the all-time greats of this game, and is really capable of giving them a run for their money. So I am very excited for that series next week, just as a viewer, since neither of these players are playing for my team, but it should be extremely fun.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you know, Julian is still Julian K. I mean, beside Haza, I just have a personal thing because, you know, I played all 3 of those series, and I judge it by how hopeless I felt player, and I have never felt as hopeless as I felt before in a series or in a game as I felt against Haza in the last tournament when I played him in the Spring Championships in the round of 16. I was in a good mood that tourney. I went seeded. First of all, I was surprised that I got seeded. Then I smashed my way past the round of 32, beating a very good Brigadier, and I was so in form and playing against Haza. I said, like, you know, maybe I can take a game. Dude, I absolutely got destroyed, and it wasn't even close. Like, I felt like there was a 5 million elo difference between me and Haza, and that's what probably everyone else that plays him feels, and that's what Frontline is probably feeling today against Keturboy. And don't blame yourself, because these guys are literally on another planet, and it's up to us to try and close the gap.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, game 5 coming in. Do we already have the matchups, Big Baron?
I'm waiting on them. I think they just sent the matchups over, so let me take a look.
Japan versus Spain. So Keturboy is going to be playing Japan, and Frontline is going to be playing Spain. Now, Keturboy Japan is another civ that plays so nice, but I will say this: it's the only civ that I have played against him in our series where not only did I feel like I had chance to win, I was actually winning. Like, I was almost double his score, but then, you know, he reminded me of the fact that I'm way worse than him, and he eventually still won. But yeah, like, it's if there is a civ that's beatable out there, it's probably his Japan.
Yeah, so let's head over into the game. The observation has started.
Yeah, you're completely right, Big David. Big David 987. The ability to win games is just, by big fights, it's just amazing. You want to take it away, or do I?
How about you go ahead? I did the last one.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the last game of this Play All 5 games series between Keturboy and Frontline for this season's ESOC Premier League. Representing the Hudson Bay Bigs on the south side of this absolutely beautiful map of Pripyat Marshes is yours truly, Keturboy, playing in the color red as the Japanese. And on the north side of the map, his opponent, as we have said before, probably, most likely, the best North American player out there right now. It's the big mighty Frontline, playing in the color blue as the Spanish. Now, so far, the series hasn't really gone into his favor. He hasn't really been able to pull the wins, but this last one, it's a good matchup for him. He can win this. If there's one time to finally break this losing streak he's on, it's today. It's now. It's this game. So we're rooting for him to get at least one game here. And if not, it's still been a very good showing by Frontline. Now, on this specific map, in this specific matchup, I have to say, this isn't as bad for Japan. The amount of trees that you have on the map and the relatively big separation that you have between the TCs kind of gives you a very extreme defenders. So if we're going to see a classic Robra 2 Falc FF coming in from Spain, I think that with a semi FF from Japan, he can try and hold this. You know, you have the Torii Gates age up nowadays, where you can get a samurai. If you spot the forward tower, if Spain opts to go for it, then the matchup doesn't even become that bad for Japan. But on the other end, if Spain decides to play this greedy with 2 Raxes, with Spanish gold, pumping out skirmishers, it is going to get tough for Japan. But yeah, let's see what these two players have in store for us today.
Yeah, let's take a look at the decks first. So from Frontline, this is, I think, a classic H3 build. What's interesting is he doesn't have Spanish gold. Instead, he's opted for Marvelous Year and this Viceroyalty of New Spain, which is the 2 Hacienda wagons. This is a bit surprising to see for me. I think Spanish gold in a 1v1 situation is better than this card at 90% of the time. But what do I know? My Spain is probably 1700 ELO, so... Would you agree though, Sheikh?
I mean, I agree with you completely. I don't remember the last time I've seen a high ELO Spain game without capitalism, so I'm surprised Frontline doesn't have it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. He doesn't have even capitalism. Instead, he's opted for 8 Lancers in H4. 4 Coves, a lot of H4 shipments. So maybe we'll be seeing some sort of like semi-FI, but I mean, he doesn't even have like Spanish gold to boost him up into H4, so I'm really unsure. And I mean, I can't imagine a semi-FI working well against Japan anyways, so I am
a bit not a fan of this deck at all.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused here. Let's take a look at...
I'm more than a bit confused, actually.
Let's take a look at Keturboy. Okay, he's gone for the Mountain Warrior. We've seen him go for this card quite often in recent tournaments. On this map, again, lots of treasures, especially some pretty big treasures. He will be picking up this 90 wood, which Mountain Warrior will actually make 180 wood from a treasure. So that's pretty incredible, right?
Yeah, it is amazing. And let's not forget as well, when you're defending a base of Spanish FF, every unit counts. And when your explorers are that much stronger and that much better, and the probability of getting critical strikes is higher, then you'll always take that. Not only like, look at how much he's getting back from the shipment. Like normally you're looking at shipments by resource cost per age, right? So in age 1 it's around 300, okay? And if you can get the equivalent amount in treasures, then the card already paid off for itself, except for the combat ability of the explorers.
Yeah, definitely agree. I wonder if Keturboy will be trying to go to H3 himself. No, but actually he ships Diplomatic Intrigue first, followed by 5 Shrines. So at least this will be kind of like a semi, right? Where you drop a Consulate in base, which he is doing.
Ooh, let's look at the treasure. Let's look at the treasure. Baron. Let's not miss it. And Japan managed to get 200 food here, and the samurai manages to spot the tower, but he is going to go back because the tower was already almost up when he managed to spot it, so he knows he's not going to get it down. Now, 300 export, I'm wondering, is he going to do the same low shrine build that he did against Hazard when he played against Brit? Is he going to opt for more like an H2 gameplay here? And yeah, there we go. He is going to go for a low. He is going to ship the shrines. I don't know how many make or ship after this, but he's going to get the touch bank. He's going to get a couple of ashes, and that tower is not going to be long. I'm going to be very surprised. That tower is still standing once Spain hits H2.
Yeah, and just look at how much value these explorers are getting. They probably got about like 400 to 500 res worth of treasures already, with the maybe even more, honestly. Just deleting these treasure guardians as well for more XP with the Torii Gates with 200 XP from that treasure that he just got, plus 28 from each of the explorers. That's like 250 XP from a treasure. Absolutely incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Frontline and what he's up to. He is aging up to H3, shipping 5 vills in transition. So by skipping capitalism, he went for 3 vills, 700 coins, 700 wood, 5 vills. So not looking too bad for Frontline either, but I mean, to me, this is like a miracle H1 for Japan, kind of guaranteed by this Mountain Warrior card.
It is looking like it. The thing is that I don't really know what the follow here is for Frontline. Yes, he's got a shipment stacked and he's able to ship the 5 vills, but the lack of capitalism is, I don't know. It's kind of allowing Japan to outscale and out eco even on a relatively low eco build. And yeah, Keturboy is deciding to stick this out in H2 right now. He's going to ship more Ashi while having trained another batch of Ashigarus, and he's going to ship another military shipment behind this as well. I won't be surprised if we see another 5 Ashi, but there we go. Yeah, Ashi combat coming in, and he's just going to be able to chase down this entire mass from Spain right here, and he wants to fight right now because he wants to take down as many units before Falconets arrive, just to be able to wither down that mass and eventually being able to right-click with units of his own. But very nice pops here for Frontline, managing to get more Musketeers out. The Explorers doing very nice damage right here. But look at these Explorers with Mounted Warrior fighting in fights. Like they're not bad at all. They're 500 HP each. They're 60 in attack with the ability to get critical hits. With these Ashis, with now Ashi combat coming in as well, this is not looking that bad for Japan, but he has to back up right now because as I say that, they pop. They're going to be able to clean absolutely everything in here without any support from the Ashigarus. But knowing Keturboy and his micro and his... He knows to get out of there before the next shipment arrives for Spain, and he does get out of there. And now he's got the sufficient Ashi mass, which is just going to be able to kite. And the infantry from Spain, what is going to be tough for him is he's not going to be able to catch up to the Lancers. So if the Lancers get on top of the Ashi, it's only if the Ashis want to stand in that position. Like, the infantry is not going to be able to follow up the Lancers in pursuing the Ashigarus.
Yeah, definitely agree. I think Frontline did go for the right approach, shipping Lancers first, I think oftentimes when you see that Japan is sticking out in H2, Falconets early on can be even a little bit of a liability, right? Because these guys are so speedy and Falconets are not. On the other hand, with Lancers, you can often posture for a surround and be able to take a more favorable trade than if you just had Falconets without sufficient body block. A huge volley going off now, and is this the chance? Oh, a lock hunt as well. I mean, the Spain mass is looking kind of scary now. He has enough anti-infantry here with the Lancers, with a couple Musketeers, with the bows. The Explorer, the dog machine, can just keep spamming out these Spanish war dogs, and it seems to me like Keturboy's mass is no longer that scary, and he definitely can't take the fight right now.
Yeah, more Lancers coming in, but you know, at the end of the day, if we get more Ashies coming in and maybe an Ashies plus double Minutemen, this can turn very scary very quickly for Spain, because economically he's behind. He just is without capitalism. Even though he did manage to get the 5 mils, he's just not where Japan is at the moment, and we're seeing 70 pop out on the field right now for Spain, whereas if we're looking over at Japan's perspective, he right now is on 60 pop, so he has lower pop. Okay, so this is actually really, really dangerous for Keter, and I don't know what he's doing venturing out in the middle of the map and not near his TC where he can pop more units. This is very, very dangerous. Why is he trying to lead away from the base? The base is where you want to fight if you're Japan right here. And if these Lancers connect now, they're going to give the infantry a chance to actually come closer and do a lot of damage. But there we go. The Falconets are unpacking and getting some humongous shots off, and these dogs are going to be such a nuisance for these Ashies. He's going to absolutely have to micro down the Lancers. One thing about dogs is that they don't snare, and relatively well done here by managing to kind of not lose all of his Ashies and kill a lot of Lancers in the process. Treasure Guardian attacking the Falconets, which is pretty funny. But here we're seeing 600 coin being shipped, and we are seeing Ashi being made and Nagis being made. Finally, we are going to see the Naginata switch. Villager is going to go down for Spain. Yep, there we go. Villager goes down up north for Spain, caught by the Ashigaros over there. And he's just going to try and out APN Frontline now. Now he's going to go in a war of, I'm going to be all around the map, and good luck trying to catch me.
Yeah, I think that was kind of a necessary sacrifice for Keturboy, running these Ashi around and taking an unfavorable trade. He knew he was lower in mass, and he really wanted to buy himself some time and kind of move the Spanish army away from his TC so that his vills could gather and he could keep getting batches out. But now, I mean, I think Frontline senses this and is going in for, I think, what he thinks is a big timing push here to end the game.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to try and right-click the TC, but I don't know if he's going to be able to take the TC down in time before a big pop from Japan comes in, but it looks like he is, and... Oh, okay, double Minuteman is going to come in, and it's really low HP, and Frontline should just keep on focusing on the TC. Vills are being popped, Nagis are out, and Ashies are coming in as well. Vills are going to try and go in the middle and... Nets, but it doesn't look like Frontline is going to let him do that. More villagers going down there in the middle by these Ashies, all of these together, and actually the Falconets are going to go down, but at the price. Japan is down to 23 villagers, and now Spain is going to be ahead economically, and the mass that Frontline still has on the field is respectable as well. These are vet Musketeers, these are not H2 Musketeers. These crossbows in the front taking a lot of these heavy hitting Ashies damage, and yeah, more villagers going down to 18 villagers now, but no shipment points as well, so he can't ship it. And coin on the floor, but he's going to have to get a tower or a TC ASAP if he wants to continue playing in this game. But from what I'm seeing from score shows that Japan is not out of it at all. Like, he's an age down and only a score down after losing his TC. If we can look over, Frontline is on 22 vills, so I find it weird that Frontline is ahead on villager and still not significantly in the lead.
I do think the score is starting to it will start snowballing in favor of Frontline. He is shipping another shipment, and he's starting to make some skirms. Although there was a little bit of a raid here, where I think 2 more vills went down to the Ashi. That's why they were late to the fight. But overall, I can't really tell. I mean, he's rebuilding his town center now. That's a lot of wood to be invested here. when I think Spain is kind of posturing for a second timing push with a lot of units, while the remass from Keturboy is looking a little bit weaker. And these builds are going to be caught out. The 16 more seconds until that gets built. So surely builds will be going down here. And to me, I think Frontline has done it. I think he's taken this game.
I think Frontline is finally going to be able to take a game here. More villagers going down. Japan down to 10 vills right now. And if Frontline even decides to lead his army right here and try again, he probably still wins the game.
Wow,
Ooh,
look at that
more
split
villagers
fire
going
as
down.
well.
Japan down to 6 vills, and there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Frontline manages to take a game, breaking the curse, breaking the streak, and well, the series didn't end exactly as he wanted. Still managed to get 1 point on the board for the SKG sub. What is it again? Somali Kabuti Gaming.
Yes.
There we go. I am very, very proud of Frontline for getting us these wins. But yeah, I'm also happy for Keturboy. Sorry, I'm happy for Keturboy for giving us these wins. But I'm also happy for Frontline that he managed to get out of his rut, because he is a great player and we want to see him win.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. So what do we have left? Do you know what what series are left for your team tomorrow?
We have one series, which Minimalt versus Kevin tomorrow.
All right. Yeah, that should definitely be a series to keep an eye on, since to me, I think it can swing either way. Kevin probably has the advantage. He's maybe a top 15 player. I guess Minimal is also sometimes a top 15 player when he's on form. So it should be a very exciting series to see. We also tomorrow have two series for the Mandarin Duck squads against the Cuirassier Management Co. We have Conqueror versus Batu and Psionic versus Soldier. So those series will be starting at 18 GMT on Sunday, and please keep an eye on that. So far, I think your team, the Bigs, have secured a pretty comfortable lead. Let's see, what is it? It's a 4-point lead.
At the moment, it's 27 to 18. Bigs, followed by SKG 21 and 24. CMC is at 18 to 17, and MDS is at 14 to 21. So you guys are in last place, and you guys gotta pick it up really quickly.
We will be picking it. Wait, but have they updated the score from today's series? Let's take a look. Where are you seeing this?
Big Boy Keister is sending it in our group chat.
Oh, I see.
It's funny that CMC has 18 wins.
Yeah.
And 10 of those wins come from one player, Julian K.
I mean, for you guys, 9 of the wins comes from Keter, right? But I guess the ratio is not as high.
Hey! 3 of those wins come from Big Shakers.
Okay, 3 of them. Right? Yeah, congratulations there.
I myself got the same amount as half of CMC.
Oh, I thought you were about to say I myself am the highest rated Sweden player.
I am. That is true. There is a whole lot of truth in that statement. I don't know why it became a meme. It's just literally the truth.
The fact that you refer to yourself as I myself is quite memeable.
Well, I am myself, right?
Yes. But yeah, anyways, sounded kind of pretentious, not gonna lie. Pretty funny though. I mean, it's not baseless. You are one of the main Sweden guys on the ladder now and in the past. But yeah, I mean, tomorrow will be certainly a very exciting series. I hope my boy Soldier can pull it off against Psionic, and I have confidence that Batu will perform very well as well. In his
Batu,
series.
guys, I'm gonna say it right now. For the people that don't know, Batu, look out for him. The way we're talking about Keturboy right now, in a year or two from now, Batu is going to be at that level. Batu is rising up quickly, and I'm looking forward for a series tomorrow. I think he will do absolutely amazing against Conqueror, and probably in week 3 as well. And look out for Batu, because he is a rising star and he will really do good.
Yeah, absolutely agree. So I think in our head-to-head right now against CMC for MDS, we're up by 1 point. A's had a really great showing this morning, 4-1ing Maito. And Dan, I think, also did the same, 4-1ing... who's his opponent? Dan versus Turk. I am Turk. Yesterday, though, yeah, as you mentioned, Julian K did 5-0 Warsword, which I guess is somewhat expected when you're put against Julian K. But yeah, I'm pretty confident that we can pull out some more wins. And good luck to your team as well. And we'll see you all tomorrow for the next installment of the EPL's championships. So thank you all for joining in today, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Do you have any last words, Jake?
Last words, I will say I see in the comments here a lot of like take care of yourself, guys. I hope you're gonna be fine. We love you. We love you all. Hopefully, peace in the world. We all should love each other more and hate each other. Very simple solution to all that. Just be nice to each other, and hopefully everyone will just be an AoE 3 addict, and the whole world can appreciate only guns being fired in video games. So yeah, love you all. Great casting with you as always, Baron. Not only casting, big ups to Baron for also producing this series today. So, yeah, have a good night all, and thank you for sticking with us.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, Shake. And let's thank all the players at Keturboy and Frontline for giving a really nice series. It was a pleasure to cast, it was a pleasure to watch, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye.
All right.